That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. Hey, who's there? I don't know. I'm gonna start painting. What do we got? 4 people? Awesome. Show you guys this. It's my custom red Hulk. Um, let's see if we can do this. There we go. Anyway, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is my first live thing that I've done on YouTube. So bear with me. I'm gonna be finishing painting this guy. We'll wait for a few more people to get in here before I start rambling. What should I do with my drink? Should probably give do a little message deal. All right, we got 3 people. Welcome. Oh yeah, that's my message. All right, where are we at? I think the first thing I want to do is I got this cool. This is one of my old silicone molds. It's got a bunch of little grabby doos in here for painting. Comes in handy. So let's go like this. Anyway, anyway, this is what little grabbies for his gun. I'm painting up Red Hulk, the Maverick version of Red Hulk. There's his gun, Marvel Legends Retro, like from this line. All right, so as you guys can see, let's see where are we at with this. Yeah, and this is my first live video. So again, thanks for being here. Thanks for checking it out. Please excuse any fumbling and bumbling. But what I've done here, I'm a really big fan of the Maverick version of Red Hulk. I forget his first name, but he's like General Maverick, so it's not Ross. It's not Thunderbolt Ross. So what I did was I took this Hulk. This is the original Hulk, and sculpted a mustache over his crazy lip. Some of this shadows. He's got a little frimbly lip, so I sculpted a mustache and sunglasses. I also buzzed down the sides of his hair to give him more of a squared off sort of Herman Munster head. And then I sculpted it back. So I buzzed it off, sculpted it back. Let's see if we can there you go. You can see. Sculpted his bandolier with all the, whatever those are, bullets for his gun. His belt, his details, the stars on his shorts, details on his shorts. I also had to get rid of the torn up pants here. So I dremelled those down, sanded them down, and then resculpted them, as you can see on this leg here. Get you in close. There you go. All the details. Dremelled off his waist area, belt, if you would. I resculpted his belt, so it goes all the way around. Details, bandolier. So for the most part, it's a pretty simple figure. And I'm going to be painting him now. I already gave him a base coat of red just to like let it cure overnight. And because I'm going to be, I want to get this. The whole point of this guy is I'm going to be auctioning him off on eBay for charity. A friend of mine, check out Basil Bop on Instagram. A friend of mine's dog has cancer, and so we're doing a GoFundMe, and we're trying to raise money. So this guy will be on eBay as an auction, and every penny that he goes for goes towards Basil. and basal surgery. So it's a good cause. So anyway, I'm gonna get to painting. I can see the chat on my computer, so if you got any questions, I'll be looking over there from time to time. I think there's only a couple of you in right now, but hopefully more will join. So that's what's going on. If you're watching this post live, thanks for checking it out as well. And let's do it. Get some oats. I got my oats over here. Let me show y'all. What? Look at that. Oats. Let me get rid of this. Put this over here. All right, so let's paint. Paint them up. I've got a couple other things I'm going to show off later on in the video. You guys can check out or hang out until I get to that. I'm using Testors Model Masters Acrylics Insignia Red right now. And Testors is my favorite paint. Unfortunately, I believe they were bought by Rust-Oleum, and Rust-Oleum shut them down. Very dumb. Why would you buy something and then just get rid of it, shut it down? A good product, buy a good product, and then not sell the product. And Testors had like an excellent reputation with the community as far as being liked. So very strange. So I'm going to be putting several coats of red on this guy, just FYI. But if you guys have any questions while we're live, shoot them into the comments, and I will answer them. When I paint, I like to do all the big blocky colors. So red is the biggest block, obviously, for this guy. I'm going to do several thin coats because you don't want to glop it on, and because it'll chip away very easily, actually. But usually with a good acrylic paint, whether it's Testors or not, you don't have to worry about sealing it. At least I don't do that. And because as long as you let it cure and you've done your joint prep, you don't need to do that. And with these guys, these 5 POA guys, there's not a lot of joint prep. There's no joint prep to do except for right here under the hip. Just a little bit of sanding. So let those legs dry for a second. I'm going to move on to his gun. I got this is just water. This guy right here, this little black cap, that's acetone. Acetone is just nail polish remover. And it helps thin paint. It also helps clean your brushes, so I use it. I'll be going to it regularly. We got a comment. Charlie Gushy's in the house. Never makes sense when a company discontinue a popular product. I know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Makes no sense. Not just popular, but just like excellent quality, you know? Here's my Testors Model Master Flat Black. This is a staple of in my arsenal. Let me get this. Is lighting weird? Does this lighting work? I don't know what's happening. You guys can hear me okay? Charlie, give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know if you can hear me all right. Obviously, you responded to what I was saying, so I'm guessing you can. There's a weird delay between what I'm saying and my computer. It's weird being live like this on YouTube. On Instagram, it's different. But you got thumbs up. Thanks, Charlie. On Instagram, it's like, you know, just do my thing, whatever. I don't have to talk. I hate talking. I hate talking while I'm working, but if there's questions to be answered, that's awesome. That I can do because that's sort of like keeps me focused. But for YouTube, it's different. It's weird. Got to entertain. Gotta be an entertainer. It's probably weird for you guys, can't see me. Like I said, this is my first live YouTube video, at least for this channel. I did a live broadcast or something, live build over on my Star Wars channel a while back. That was interesting. Maybe I'll do more of these. I don't know. Let me know. Is this a cool thing? Charlie, is this a cool thing that I'm doing? Something I should do more of? These live whistle while you call them whistle while you work videos? I don't know what I'm saying now. So this gun is, what was that? It was like it was like a GI Joe gun of some kind. Oh, it was off of. Thanks, man. Thanks, Charlie. I'm glad you think so. And it was awesome seeing you this weekend, dude. So awesome. It was such a good time. This gun came off of, damn, what's his name? GI Joe guy, black guy, Arctic Blast. No, it's not his name. What's his name? Drawing a blank. Anyway, he's the one with the canoe. This thing goes on like the front of his canoe. So as I showed earlier, I've got this old silicone mold, and I'm going to grab the gun like so, and I'm going to use my silicone mold right here. This was a Sigor. Do I have a Sigor? Where's Sigor? Here's my Sigor. My Sigor figure. This is the original. Well, yeah. I mean, there's the sculpt, the addition of the GI Joe bits right here, sculpt on there, and then this is a resin cast, crappy resin cast. But Sigor, anyway. Oh man, as I drop him, don't break, Sigor. So anyway, this is an old Sigor mold. You can see in there, silicone mold, like opens up. You pull the resin out, and I just use it once they break. When you start pulling the resin out, and it's pulling silicone with it, that means your mold's broken, and that's what they call it. So I don't like to just throw a giant chunk of silicone away like this. You know, I guess you can recycle it maybe, or give it to a lady or something. I don't know, but I like to use them for something, door stops, or I don't know, stack something on it. But if you poke a bunch of holes in it, like I got my Red Hulk gun right there, and I just like jam it in, then it can dry standing up. So I'm going to set that aside while I go back to the Red Hulk. And he's all dry. I'm gonna get rid of these purple lights. I think that will help better. There we go. He's dry from that first round of red that I went through. So I'm gonna go to what should we do? I had his picture up here. God, it's so weird seeing the delay on the computer. I go with Red Hulk, Maverick, images, pictures. There it is. All right, so the next color I'm going to do is, I guess, black. We'll do some black for his glasses here. On this guy, I'm using what is this? It's a 0 Artist Loft brush, 0, and again with my flat black. And I'm just gonna get up in here for sunglasses. Now, if you go off the sculpt, and which I am and I have done, don't worry, because I'm gonna come back with red and use it almost as a eraser or a filler or whatever you want to call it, to go back over and tighten everything up. So anytime you paint something like this that's small, there's a lot of going back and going over things again. You know, so like nothing is done cleanly the first time through. Mom just said hi. What's up, Mom? Good seeing you. the St. Charles Scarecrow Fest. It was a blast. Possibly my favorite day of the year. Definitely one of my favorite days. I don't know. Halloween, Christmas, those are great days too. I'm gonna give his. Let's see. Let's move his arms out the way. Out the way. I'm gonna paint from the head down, so I'm gonna give his bandolier some black as a base, because I'm going to be going over that with some leather and metallic. And again, it's fine to be sloppy on these first few coats, because you're going to go back, or I'm going to go back and redo. Right now, it's all about coverage. You want to get your coverage. You want to make sure everything has enough color on it. And then you can go back for the details. Make sure you get it in all the crevice and creases. That's really sloppy. You don't want to be that sloppy, but you can always fix anything you slop up. Wish I could put some. I've never done one of these live videos before for YouTube, and then I don't know how you can edit them, or if they just like get posted right when you're done. I don't know if anybody knows, because that would be great if I could add some music in post, but I'm not sure if you can do that. For those who don't know, YouTube has like a really nice, really good free music library, royalty free, that you can use in your videos, and that's usually where I get all mine. Camp Blood, switch to my other account because I think you banned. I can't see where'd it go? Hold on. Camp Blood, switch to my other account because I think you banned my other one. I was passionately, toxically ranting about NECA once. I don't know, man. I can't remember banning anybody, but I know that if YouTube gets wind, or maybe somebody else, if you said something weird, maybe somebody else reported it. I don't know, but if somebody puts, I just don't like negativity. I mean, there's plenty of stuff I don't like as well. Everybody has stuff they don't like, but if somebody puts something negative, I usually just delete it, because I don't need that on my in my world. Life's too short. But that's cool that you recognize that. If that's the case, thank you, and thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. You made like a serious effort to get back here, so that's cool. That means you're interested. I dig that. Yeah, YouTube they'll crack down. They don't want negative stuff. Gotta get his head out of the way. I wish I could detach this guy's head so that I can get up in here. It's hard for you guys to see what I'm doing. I know. I'm sorry. Just this little area, and then I'll be done with it. Uh-oh. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. There's my boy yelling at the loud neighbors. It's okay, bud. It's just your friends. Hey. Just kind of comes with it. Keeps everything like interesting, right? Charlie, how's Ripley? What's she doing? Let's see. Have you bought the Final Faction stuff? You know what, man? I was really interested. I don't have a dollar store or whoever sells that, Five Below, and so a few people in the community, my friend Craftsman and my friend PK Mates, sent me a bunch of that stuff, like too much of it, which was awesome. And so I have a bunch of it. Yes, I didn't buy it. And then I also, since a lot of it was given to me, I gave some of it away to people I knew would appreciate it. And yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome stuff, and it's crazy that it's $1, for this stuff. Um, I don't know how they produce that stuff so cheap and then sell it so cheap. I feel like I've heard people say that maybe there's like they bought into a warehouse that had that stuff and they were just like wanting to unload it. I don't know, but it's cool stuff, man. So I'm doing his belt now, and I'm getting really sloppy with it, but not to worry. I'm gonna come back and clean it up. She's complaining because she wants your dinner. What are you having, Charlie, for dinner? That is so good. Oh, is it the triple B? Did you make the triple B? Egum. It's okay. It's okay, buddy. Hey, are you a good boy? Take it easy. Hey, it's okay. Leftover triple B. Egum. Hey, buddy. It's okay. Hold on. Let me grab this guy. Hey. Thank you. Okay. No. No, thank you. Are you a good boy? Hey, are you a good boy? You better be a good boy. Egum. Be a good boy. Come on. Triple B. What was the triple B? It was bean enchiladas. It was bean, beef, and bananas. Is that the third B? Bean, beef, and bananas. Charlie Gushy is a exquisite cook. He made dinner for him and his mom and his dog. Some triple B enchiladas with beans, beef, and bananas. Sometimes I float out of the camera, and I need to like remember not to do that. Just checking the underside of the belt. Looks good. All right, let's move on to his Schwartz. A little bit of water, a little bit of acetone. I don't know a lot of people that use acetone, and you should. Cleans your brushes, keeps them clean. This stuff only costs I think it was like $3 for this bottle, and it lasts for, I don't know, lasts for like 6 months or something. But it thins your paints and it cleans your brushes. So clean your brushes, keep your brushes clean. All right, I'm gonna set this guy down while I grab some. We're gonna mix this paint. So I'm looking for blue. I'm gonna use this blue. This is my game's, what is that? Vallejo? Is that Vallejo? Is that what that is? Yeah. Vallejo Ultramarine blue. And I'm gonna also use some dark gray from Testers, which isn't really dark. It's just gray, I think. The reason I'm going to use the two is because, first of all, Vallejos are great, but they are too thick, way too thick. So I need to water it down a bit, and I'm going to do that by using the gray. But I'm also going to add a little bit of water as well. Stir it up, mix it in my little palette over here. My palette is disgusting and dirty. It needs to be cleaned, but it's all dried. So we're going to mix that over here. Shake it up. Shake it. Congrats on your first live, Baby Biz. Thank you very much. Camp Blood, where we at? I think stuff is cheaper to produce than we think. I bet the margin isn't that big on them too, whereas on a similar figure like the one you're holding, the profit is crazy. So I'm guessing, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It's always cheaper, and they always hike up the price, especially now. But yeah, like those Final Faction figures are cheap quality. They're very cool figures, but they're cheap quality. We can't deny that. This figure, which was this figure to begin with, I'm guessing probably cost. They made it. Also depends on how many you make. So someone like me, when I do a very small run of like Chud babies out of resin, I got to pay for resin, a little bit of resin instead of resin by bulk. So I have to charge more to make my money back and to make money at all. Also, there's the cost of silicone, whatever. So with this guy, the biggest cost with something like this is the tooling, which is the metal mold. That's the tool. And that thing usually costs per figure, like per 6 inch figure. What is that? What is happening? Hold on. Sorry, guys. My phone went off. That's crazy. Um, so this guy, a 6 inch mold is, I think, is about like 20 grand. I'm sure Hasbro gets like, you know, a discount or something. I don't know. I'm sure, not a discount, but like they do so many there and they reuse a lot of the molds. So they use the same mold probably for the Green Hulk. In fact, I know they did. So beyond that, the cost, once you calculate the cost of this figure, it was probably like $2 or $3 per figure. And they also ordered a bunch of them. But then there's also the cost of shipping it from China back here. There's the cost of packaging, promotion, all that stuff. So I think this guy retails any one of these. I think they retail for like what, $12 or something. Total cost for them is probably $6 or $7, probably less. This is all guess. I don't know. But yeah, those final factions couldn't have cost like 50 cents to make, I'm guessing. Let me see what's happening over here in the chat. Stuff. The paint on the final faction isn't good, but the plastic quality is comparable to the expensive 375 figures. I think you're probably right. Charlie Gushie, back when I painted Gwis minis, I found that Citadel paints have the tendency to chip and crack. Is that the case, or have they gotten better? Bunions on Hulk? Let's see, hold on. Charlie, I'm going to answer your figure, but yeah, they got bunions on Hulk. Check that out. It's crazy. Charlie, great point. Citadel, where are they? So Citadel is like a very popular brand for minis. I think because of because sorry, my brother keeps calling. If you would look at my Instagram, you'd see that I'm live on YouTube. Anyway, Citadel Base, Lead Belcher, they have weird names. These guys are really good for miniatures. So when you think about a miniature, I got this little guy from the 80s. You're not going to handle these as much as you would something like this, I think, or a 6 inch figure. So using Citadels on these little guys works if you seal it. But I found the more you touch them, if you paint any kind of Citadel, the more you touch it, it rubs. It rubs off, or it chips, like you said. I've never seen it like chipping or cracking, but it definitely rubs off. So I always seal when I use Citadel paints, I always seal them. Whereas something like this, I won't. I mean, like the Vallejo and the testers, I won't seal those. But another way to do it is what I usually do with the Citadels is I'll either use this as a base and then paint something over it, or I'll mix some testers with that, with that Citadel. Hulk's been wearing shoes that are too small, man. Hulk, get with it, dude. Get with it, Hulk. Let me look at this picture again online, make sure I'm doing this good. So he's got like some kind of, it's almost this shade of blue pants. We're going to see if I can scoot this up so you guys can see more. So it's got sort of is that enough? A little more. It's got sort of a chalky look to it in a way. So that's why I'm going to add a little bit of, it's on my finger. Don't touch things when you got paint on your hands. I'm going to add a little bit of this gray. Make sure you shake your stuff up. I almost knocked my tea onto my computer just now. All right, so let's get this. And this is what I do. I got this is a coat hanger that can you guys see this? This is a coat hanger that I've manipulated and shaped. It's got a right angle up here on this side where my finger's wiggling, and it's got a hook on this side. And this is just, homemade tools are the best. So this is my paint stirrer and paint disher outer, or whatever you want to call it. So I always I go in here and I go like pajamas, and I add a little bit of little bit of gray, maybe a little bit more. What is that, like 6 drops? And then I also want to add, I think, some white. Let me get rid of this Hulk so I have more room. Get rid of the black, get rid of the red. I'm going to put my, these guys are keeping company, but I'm going to use this. I usually just use testers. Do I have testers flat white? I don't think I do. I do somewhere, but I've got a lot of it somewhere. Anyway, Vallejo dead white. Come on. Doesn't get much whiter than that, so let me shake it up. So we're going to use that just to flavor it a little bit. A little squish. See that? A little squish. And then with my grabber again, I grab like a little bit of water and I go flick, 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 flick. Oh, you flicked too hard. Best line in that movie. And then I stir it up with the hook. Get it in there, get it in there. I think it's still a little bit too thick. Flick, 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 flick. Oh, you flicked too hard. All right, we'll try that. Make sure it's all mixed really well. Sometimes when you're mixing different brands of paints, they just don't want to mix. And if you probably can't see, but there's little swirls of darker blue in there. That's okay, because as you paint it on, it'll sort of meld together. But every once in a while, I'll go back and stir it up. Stir it up. So his stars, all these areas that I sculpted that are white are gonna still be white. But I'm gonna try to avoid them. I'm also going to actually paint them white. So how's the chat? What's happening? Is that the toy pizza diver on the right? Yes. Where are we at? Over here? There's 2 of them actually. I'll reach over there in a second. Awesome sculpt. Have you gotten one? Jesse DeStasio is a friend of mine, and he's a kind of an unwitting or unwilling, what's the word? Unwitting mentor. I really respect his work. He's inspiring, and he's full of good advice. So I talked to Jesse today. He's a good guy, and I love Glios. And Knights of the Slice are definitely my favorite Glios figures, line of Glios. All right, so as I said, the only place you're going to run into joint rub on these Marvel Legends retro figures, or any 5 POA, is with the legs here as they slip under the hips and here under the like crotch butt area. So you want to make sure that there's enough clearance, which on this guy there is. As you can tell, none of that paint scratched off when I moved him. And same thing up the hips, none of it scratched off. So joint prep is number 1 for any custom figure. Without good joint prep and proper joint prep, a good paint job is gonna get ruined. So make sure that you do that. And I do that with my Dremel and sandpaper and all kinds of stuff. Whatever it takes, my X-Acto knife. Make sure you get into all the crevice and creases, as Craftsman would say. This blue's turning out good. I think I might not have to remix. I think I could probably leave this for the rest of the figure. How's the chat? I find Vallejo doesn't like to mix with other brands at all. Painted a figure gray that has tiny white swirls all throughout. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like you just kind of like have to super mix it. You know what I mean? Like you just got to make sure you're vigilant with the mixing. Um, pull out a blender or like a, what do you call it? Things that you make cakes with. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. That would be a mess. The thing that you make, like if you were gonna make oat cookies, right? Is that a mixer? I guess it's a mixer. I'm terrible at baking. No, just mix it by hand. Keep mixing it. I think it'll come together eventually. All right. Make sure you get the underleg, because like I said, I'm going to come back and tighten up the colors, but you want to make sure you got the color you want everywhere you want it. And if you go a little bit over, that's okay. You can always fix stuff. I've gotten to the point in my toy career and customizing career where if anything breaks, I've never been able to not fix something. And that's not an arrogant statement, but rather lessons that I've learned. As a collector, Charlie, you know this, we get a lot of like toys right out of the package that are broken. That sucks. But I can usually figure out a way to fix most things. All right. Well, I got to do one more thing. What we got? Brick something. This is my first time seeing one of your live streams. Watched many of your older videos. You do fantastic work. That's awesome. That's very flattering. And the reason you've never seen one of my live streams is because this is the very first one for this channel. So thank you for being here, man. And thank you for the kind words. Brick something. Brick something. Is that like break something? But it's like brick something. You're probably a Lego, or maybe, are you a Lego fan? I don't know. I'm assuming a lot of things here. Bricks can be, maybe you make things with bricks. I don't know. That would be awesome. I keep floating out of the frame. Ah. If I keep floating out of the frame, you guys got to tell me in the comments. Be like, yo, son, get back in the frame. Since white is such a, I'll show you guys. I'm going to use the acetone here in a minute when I get to these stars and the white sculpted areas. It's very hard. It's very arduous and tedious. It's not hard. It's not like lifting weights or anything, but it's very tedious getting white to cover. Sorry, I got that shake. Been drinking way too much coffee today and not enough water. But anyway, getting white to cover the way you want is tedious. You got to do a ton of layers. And so I want to try to make sure that I don't get too much blue onto the white areas because they need to be white. So as you can see, I got a little bit of blue. That's fine. I'm going to go back with before I paint it white, I'm going to use a little bit of acetone to clean that up so that the white is like super white. And then I'll probably, I definitely will seal the white areas with my Liquitex Liquitex flat varnish. Because I don't know if you can tell in here. So even though I use this epoxy sculpt is white, it's a little bit of yellow. There's a little yellow because I've touched it in the sun and all that stuff. This guy's been waiting to be painted for quite a while. And when I get the white paint on here, it'll do the same thing again. So if you seal it, you're going to get less oils from your hands onto the white and therefore less yellowing. I don't know if you can tell, but his teeth are like super white, but the sculpt is just a tiny little tint of yellow. All I don't know how long this session here is going to go, but it's going to go as long as I can take before I need tacos. That's how long I'm going to be doing this. So right now we're at 41 minutes. Does anybody know how long a YouTube live video can go for before like it gets before you're done? I don't know, before it cuts off or something. Anybody know? Let's go to the chat. Let's see. Brick something plus it's a vague enough name to work. Oh yeah, here you go. Wait, go back. Oh well, there you go. Yeah, Lego fan, awesome. Brick something, Lego fan. Plus, it's a vague enough name for to work for whatever, and that's actually a really good point. That's awesome because I've changed my name several times before AC Toy Design. Used to be AC Custom Figures, and I was like, you know what? I do more than custom figures. I need something more broad. That's when I came up with Toy Design, which is still kind of pigeonholing me as a toy designer, but I'm also a writer. FYI, I just got my first, if you guys are comic book fans, I just got my first official article published on CBR, comicbookresources.com. You can head over there and search for me, I guess, and check it out. What else? Charlie, the worst I've had is a Marvel Legends stealth suit Iron Man. His pelvis piece disintegrated right out of the package. Luckily, Hasbro customer service sent me a replacement of the figure. Awesome. Hang Solo. That's an awesome name, too. Hang Solo. Hang Solo. Do you sell on eBay? Do you do any G.I. Joe Classified? And then hours and hours. Cool. All right. We won't go hours and hours, but I'm going to definitely do some more painting here. Do you sell on eBay? I used to. I used to do at least one custom figure a week and put it on eBay, but they stopped. It's weird. Like right before, I guess it was right before the pandemic, you know. So I probably did my last one around 2019. I used to do it all the time, and I used to get good bids, but that kind of slowed down. People stopped having less expendable cash during the pandemic. So it wasn't worth my time. You know, you guys need to be paid for your time, correct? So I do too. And when I make a custom figure, they take, I don't know, 5 to 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, sometimes more, over multiple days. And if one of my figures on eBay sells for $100, that's like working for $5 an hour, you know? So like $10 an hour. Nobody wants to do that. So I stopped doing that and I started just taking commissions and charging what my time is worth. But these guys, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this guy, once he's done, and this guy, my Silver Surfer Fallen one, is that what he's called? I think. Focus. He's also a custom that I made a little while ago. These are both going to be auctioned off on eBay as a charity auction. A friend of mine's dog has cancer and they need to raise some money. They have a GoFundMe, which I'll be posting with this video once we're not live. And all the money raised by these figures are going towards Basil, the dog. He's a corgi. That's going to go towards for them, all of it. So if you guys are interested in these, just keep that in mind. I'll definitely be posting on Instagram and YouTube and my social media when these guys are done and when they will be up on eBay. So thanks for asking about that. Very, very relevant question. Let me put this guy back. All right. Let me go back to the chat before I jump back to the gun. I do mainly videos of 1/10 figures. Marvel Universe, Mythic Legion, Super 7. Oh, Marvelverse. Masterverse, sorry. Mythic Legion, Super 7, etc. But I'll be doing Lego stuff at some point. Awesome. But I mess with basic customizing and some parts to paint. Been picking up tips from you and other channels. Thanks for teaching me about epoxy putty. You're welcome. I'm due for making another like straight up epoxy, you know, what you can do with it. And speaking of this guy, let me show you this figure. He's not going to fit in the frame. He's too big. This is a Marvel Legends box from Alpha Flight. He's done. His video is recorded, but I need to edit it, and it's the entire process: sculpt, painting, kit bash, what you call your joint prep, all of it. So like almost his entire body is sculpted. All the blue areas are sculpted, his hips. So anyway, this is going to look for that on YouTube, top to bottom. It's going to be my biggest video yet, most important video yet. It's going to be the biggest, tutorial that I've ever done. So I'm excited about that. It's just going to take a while to edit it. Let's see. Camp Blood. Just set it to a minimum bid. Yeah, that's smart. Hang Solo 3D printed items for action figures do good on eBay. They do. Specifically resin printed heads. I don't do 3D prints or digital stuff, at least yet. I live in a small studio, and it's, the fumes and all that stuff. I have a little puppy, and I don't want weirdness. So, awesome. Have to sign off. Good night, Charlie. Thank you for being here, Charlie. It's good seeing you, buddy. Always. That is rad. Nice. Love Alpha Flight. Looks fantastic. Thank you. I'll show you guys one more. She has her video up, but since we're live, I made her video. Go check out her video if you haven't yet. But sorry, I hit the camera. Hildegard, man, what a beast. She is awesome. Big, beautiful babe. That's another one that's finished. I love this. I love how the cloth turned out on this, It's the first time I've used this much cloth on a figure, and it's just so good. Really proud of this one. Let me put her back so she doesn't get paint on her. Don't get red on you. Put a gas mask on the dog. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know if you guys know. I mean, it has nothing to do with this, but I don't know. I lost my girl Mooj last year, which was Egum's big sister, and to lung cancer. So I'm a little bit paranoid about that because I don't know how she got sick. I don't smoke. She didn't smoke. She was the love of my life. So anyway, there's a video about her on the channel. Go watch it. So here's the gun. I've painted it black. It's dried. Now remember, dried does not mean cured. So even though this is dried and I can paint more on it, more layers or whatever I want to do, the paint can still come off very easily. If I were to bend something like this or that, it would chip. If I were to paint too hard or too wet over this, it would smear the paint off because it's not cured. Curing takes about, I'd say, at least 12 hours for a really good paint like Testors, Model Masters acrylics. So that's why when this video started, this guy was mostly red already. I wanted it to cure so that I could be painting layers and layers over him and make sure that I could do as much tonight with you guys as possible. So here's his gun. I'm torn. You guys can help me in the chat with what I'm going to do with this gun. If Marvel was coming out of Marvel, let's see. They would probably leave this one solid color. I'm guessing it would be gray, right? And I want to kind of stick with the theme of Marvel, retro Marvel Legends. So let's look at the Green Goblin. Oh man, he almost went right in the paint. So here's Green Goblin. And let's put him back so he doesn't go in the paint. So that's Green Goblin. So here's his Goblin Glider. And it's 100% one color cast out of plastic. And it works. It's a metallic plastic looking thing. So this, I'm guessing, coming out of the factory would be similar. It would be one color. So which color should it be? Should I leave it black? Should I do it gray? I don't want to do too much detail because I want it to fit in with the rest of the line. What do you guys think? Your hazmat video blew me away. The box video is going to be epic, and I'm sure. Thank you very much. That hazmat figure was fun, man. The helmet on that thing. Camp Blood, did that start as a red Hulk, or was it gray and you painted it red? Yeah. This is what he was. He was this. I turned him into that. So at the beginning of the video, I said some stuff, a little explanation. So I'll run through it now again because there's more of you here. I dremeled down the sides of his head so that he had more of a Herman Munster head. So as you can tell, like less of a Beatles haircut over here where my thumb is, more of a Herman Munster. And then I resculpted um, the sides there and the back. Focus camera, focus, focus. Anyway, it'll focus. You guys get the idea. Anyway, then I also dremeled down. I dremeled down the waist, the torn details here, and at the legs, and I resculpted them. You can kind of see the white underneath because I haven't put enough layers of red. Resculpted the belt, resculpted all the white here, the stars and the stripes. And I sculpted his bandolier. So, and his sunglasses and mustache. So this is what he was. This is what he is. All right. So let's go to one more comment over here. Let's see. Camp Blood. Go vintage Kenner and make it yellow. Yellow. It would look fine black. Is there a Marvel figure from that line that comes with any guns? I don't think so. Let's see. I don't know. Who else would come with guns? I don't think there is. I have a feeling like dark gray should be the way to go, you know? Almost like as if it's gunmetal. Does that make sense? I don't know. Black does work. Huh. Either way, I can still see brown through it, which is what it was. I'm going to give it one more layer of black before we fully decide. You guys can still comment on that. What color should his gun be? Let's go with black or gray. Those are the choices. There's 10 of you in there. So let me know what you want me to paint this, black or gray. I'm going to give it one more color of cover layer of my tester's black, just to cover up that brown. You guys can vote in the comments right now. Black or gray for this guy. What are we doing? Gridiron Studios does some good products. Gridiron. Chuckles shirt. What do you seal your paints with? Let me make sure I'm getting all these. I think the longest YouTube live video about 5 hours. Geez, that's so long. All right, wait a minute. Questions. What is Gridiron Studios? What kind of products do they make? Gridiron Studios. It sounds like some football something. Chuckles shirt. Is that a G.I. Joe reference? I need to know because Chuckles is an awesome character. What do I seal these with? Let me finish this last little. I'll show you. I don't seal everything, and I'll only be sealing certain parts of this figure because I use good paints. If you use good paints, you don't necessarily have to seal. Unless it's something, if you're painting up as I said earlier, if you're painting up like a D&D mini with the intent of playing with it, like using it for the game, like this guy, you want to seal that because you're going to be touching it a lot. Custom action figures you don't necessarily play with, you pose them. So you want to make sure you seal the areas that you're going to be posing, I guess. But if you use good paints, you don't need to. I don't, anyway. Here's my little grabber again. And it's going into my silicone mold over there that I'm just like using as a stand-up thing. Yes, G.I. Joe, awesome. So you wanted to know about sealers. Let me grab them. Liquitex matte and gloss varnish. So the gloss, the matte, the gloss I pretty much only use for eyeballs. So when I'm done with a figure, I'll throw a bit of gloss over the eyeballs to give them a little glint, make them look more real. But the matte varnish is, I was saying earlier, I'll be putting matte varnish over the white areas once I paint them white. Here, everything that's white, I'm going to paint it white. And I'll seal that with the matte varnish because it'll be like a dull coat. And basically the reason I'm doing that is because as you touch the figure, oils on your hand will turn that white yellow, a tint of yellow over time. And you don't want that. So I like these. There's another one that I have right here, and it's a rattle can of spray Testors spray lacquer. This is hard to come by, especially because they don't make it. They don't make Testors anymore. You know, it's a little shaky can. I use that sometimes if I want to coat an entire figure. I'll take it outside and give it like a few passes. But I pretty much I don't really seal my paints because you don't need to if you use good ones. Just the rare spots that the trouble spots, I'll use these guys, and these are really nice. And I mean, these two bottles, I think they cost like $10 a piece or something. These will probably last me the rest of my life. It's crazy. I need a drink. I need a drink real quick. Hold on. Let me get my iced tea. If you guys are doing stuff like if you're coffee drinkers, I don't like coffee so much. It makes me shaky like I am now. Green tea is the way to go, I'm telling you. I wanted to show you. So, bring her out again. I don't know if you can tell, but her eyes have a little spot, a little gloss of, a little wipe of gloss varnish. That one I just showed you. Just went like bing, bing, and it just gives them a little bit of a glint. I don't know, it's hard to see. Also, metallics. I'll seal metallics. So her chest, her armbands, her neck, and her head. I sealed those, and her belt. Because metallics tend to rub off very easily or chip. So you want to make sure that you're protecting those. All right, where are we at? Let's put some Gridiron Studios. Oh, you're saying you are Gridiron Studios. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. What are you saying? Anyway, I make 1/12 custom mostly and toy photography. Toy photography, man, that's fun, right? I love it. If you guys are into toy photography and 80s toys, check out my other Instagram. It's at Mom Gave Them Away. Mom Gave Them Away. And that's where I post my 80s toy collection. It's all toy photography. But every time I make a custom figure, I always, do some shots for Instagram to promote. All right, I want to remix like we were talking before. Let me get some more water in my blue paint. Flick, 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 flick. You flick too hard. And then remix. All right. I'm going to put one more layer of blue on his shorts, and that should give me the coverage that I want for the most part. Let me use this guy. Actually, this time I'm going to start with. You should do a collection video. Wordle is an awesome program for the iPad. Hang so low. All right. Yeah, a collection video. Maybe I'll do that. That's a good idea. Because I've been doing like 80s toy like spotlights, I guess. I did like my Tiamat figure and some Centurions and modular toys. Do people like collection videos? Is that something people like? Right now, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel monetized. I've been on YouTube making videos for more than 3 years, and my channel still isn't monetized because I wasn't consistent for a while putting out videos. And life got in the way, the pandemic, all that stuff. And so now that I'm back to doing it regularly, I'm trying to get it monetized. It's just crazy because I've got plenty of subscribers over, I think you have to have like 1,000 subscribers, but you also have to have, which I've got more than that, but you also have to have 4,000 watch hours in a year's time. And I'm a little over halfway. But it's crazy because some of these like newer YouTube channels that do really short videos and have very few subscribers, they're already monetized because their videos are so short, and I don't know, I guess like they're doing a lot of them. But when you do custom figures and toy design, I can't just pump out these videos, because each video, like I was talking about for my box figure, each video takes like, days and days and days to make and edit, and then add to that the fact that each custom, whatever project I'm working on, that sometimes takes months. So I can't just like pump out these figures or these videos, sorry, um, like most people can or other people can. So anyway, go back and watch some of my old videos, or you know what? If everybody in here, what do we have? 8 people. If everybody in here just made a playlist of my videos and just put it on, you don't even have to watch it. You can just walk away. But just put it on in like the background of your house. We could get this channel monetized. People will be walking in and be like, "What are you watching?" And be like, "AC Toy Design." Like, that's what you had on last time I was here. Yeah. We're trying to get his channel monetized. How's the chat? What are we doing? Pump out the shorts. You know what? The shorts don't count towards your watch hours, unfortunately. I just learned that. But I am doing shorts. I'm trying to do one for every day of October. And what they do is they bring traffic to your website or to your page, to your YouTube page. So they do serve a purpose and they're fun because they're like only a minute long. But that it's a great suggestion. I've been doing that this month. I just started doing it for the first time. I wish they counted. If they counted, man, 'cause some of my shorts already just in the last couple days have like, I don't know, hundreds of views. So should start a campaign. Monetize AC. And if you guys are interested in like well, you can check out my Patreon, but every figure that I make, every project I work on, the one thing I do make sure that I do is take tons of pictures and document the whole process, even if the video might come later or at all. And I post all that stuff on my Patreon and in a tutorial article with like from beginning to end. So if it's something you guys are more interested in, I've got that over there. I also have, it's such an awesome community over there. Let's see. Love the stash. Yeah. Hey, Charlie, right on. Charlie. Great seeing you this weekend, man. Great seeing you. The stash is awesome, right? Do you airbrush any figures? I only had paint so far. I don't. I have an airbrush setup. I have an airbrush, like an actual airbrush setup, but I don't have an airbrush booth. And again, I'm in a small place, and the particles in the air and all that stuff. So I need to get a booth. I don't have the money for one right now, but whatever. Eventually, I will. Because it would make something like this go a lot faster. But I love painting by hand. I really do. I love sculpting by hand. That's why I don't do digital rendering, digital sculpting. But yeah, I was saying Charlie right on. He's part of the Patreon and an awesome part of it. We had a meetup this weekend for the Patreon. Him and the other Charlie that just left showed up, and it was awesome. But it's an awesome community over there. I do my podcast. You Like Toys. It's a Q&A with the community. And Charlie always has like the best questions. Charlie, crazy. But yeah, awesome community over on Patreon. And you can join for just $2 a month. It's crazy, It's like half a cup of coffee. Half a cup of coffee. $2 a month. So I think I'm gonna move over to back to the red, because we need a couple layers and I need to clean it up. You can tell like near his knees it's black and stuff from underneath. And his bandolier needs to be cleaned up. But before I do his bandolier, I'm gonna give it some leather look. All right. I'm probably gonna have to do roughly at least one more coat of red on this guy. Get red on him because I can tell that it's not giving me the coverage just off of two coats. So let's see, where are we at? I recently started using RIT dye more to color figures. That's interesting. Yeah, I've seen people do that with like Knights of the Slice and Glyos stuff. I wonder how it would work on certain pieces. That's what I used on the Hildegard figure that I pulled out on her. I'll show you guys in just a minute when I finish this red. I used it on her soft goods. That was the first time I've done that, and it was a pleasurable experience. Like it worked. Worked very well. All right. Bing, bing, bing. Bing, bing, bing. Okay. Set him down for a second. I'll grab that. Amazing stuff. Got to see the kiddos off to bed. I'll catch replay and what I can help with monetization. Working on that myself for the channel. Check it out. Not as cool as your stuff. Hey, thank you so much, Brick Something, for being here, man. Great interacting with you. I will definitely check out your channel. And have a good night. Let's see. Eric Duchamp. It needs more silver and chrome. 100% chrome. I use it on G.I. Joe Classified and Marvel Legends. Yeah. Let me show you. Let me see. So this brown, this was white, absolute white. And I tried to dye it and it's synthetic fur, it's faux fur. So I tried to dye it with the wrong RIT dye and it washed right out. So then I realized I needed to get synthetic RIT dye and it immediately worked perfectly. And now it's nice brown as if it was made that way. So that worked really well. But I haven't used it on plastics yet. I know a lot of people do it with like Knights of the Slice figures. I know Nikki over at Toy Pizza used to do it a lot. Jesse probably did as well. Let's see. Charlie Right On says, join up. It's worth it. The pod is fun as hell. Trust me. Looks awesome. Thank you, Eric. That was an awesome project. Charlie, thank you. Charlie's talking about the Patreon. He's a member of the Patreon. He's saying, join up. $2 a month. I mean, it's nothing. It's a lot of fun. Charlie has the best questions. There's a lot of people in there that have amazing. I mean, everybody has amazing questions that they come to it with. And we talk about all kinds of stuff. We talk about movies and TV and toys and all that stuff. All right. He's dry. How many people we have in here? 7. Let's see. Is his gun going to be black or gray? Black or gray? That's what I want to see in the comments. I can leave it black like this, or I can paint it gray. And just remember, like, details on this gun, because it's got a lot of raised areas, as you can see. The details would be more easily seen if it was gray. But I want to do it one solid color. So Camp Blood says black. Eric DeChant says black, get that old metal look. Chuckle Shirt says, I feel like gray is more retro. Hank Solo, I heat my figures very carefully on the stove. Old pot, dye. Mind you, it's so hot to be careful. Yeah. I had to boil that fabric to do that. Thanks for the tip. Where are we at? Charlie Right On says gray with them silver accents. Shelly Stone in the house. Thank you, Shelly, for popping in. Black. Use tongs. Yes, definitely. I feel like it's almost even. Black and gray. 4 and 4. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. Gray is 1. Dry brush, dry brush. Normally I would dry brush, but as I was talking about earlier, all these I wanted to fit in with the Marvel Legends retro, aesthetic, and so this is the Goblin Glider for Green Goblin, right? One solid piece of cast grayish blue plastic. So I wanted to do this in one solid color of either black or gray. That said, you look at Thor's hammer and it's got the rock color and the brown color, so we could do two. We could do two colors. Silver, he says. Normally, I would leave it black and then do dry brush, like a lot of you are saying. What if we did black and parts of it gray? I guess we could do that. I just didn't want too many details on it. Let's do. Where's my gray? That's silver. There's gray. I love dry brushing. Dry brushing is amazing. It's an amazing technique. Black would match the rest of the black on the figure. Well, brass with a green cover. Black and wash. Yeah, I mean, washes are cool too. This bandolier is not going to be left black. I am going to paint the middle of it brown for leather, and then the edges of it will be a metallic color. The only black part is going to be hair, sunglasses, mustache, and belt. So let's try. I can always repaint it black, almost like an eraser. So let's try some gray in certain areas. I'm thinking this area. Sometimes I hold my breath when I paint. Like, am I gonna screw it up? I'm working on middle dark gray would do the trick. Yeah. I'm working on my on my dry brush skills. Sometimes it's awesome. Sometimes I want to pull my hair out. Yeah. Dry brushing is one of those things that if you screw it up, like if I screw this up, I can just go paint it black again. Dry brushing, if you screw it up, man, you got to start over with your base coat so that you can dry brush over it again. It's a pain in the buns. You know what I mean? Again, if I overpaint on a part here, I can always go back with the black and tighten it up, which is what I'll end up doing. So color blocking, as far as I know, that's like a phrase that I use. I don't know, but it makes sense. Color blocking. You take the predominant color of whatever it is you're painting, and you just get the coverage. You know what I mean? You just get the coverage so that you can go in later, tighten it up, and add details. I don't know. I feel like maybe I might end up doing the whole thing gray, but what are we doing? Let's see. It's a good contrast towards the green. Eric DeChamp. Can't blood if you're going to do two colors. Make it gray and black handle. And the part you're currently painting gray-black. Yeah, I agree. What will you use when you run out of testers? Man, that's like a nightmare that I keep having, running out of testers. So I've been trying. That's a great question. I've been trying to test as many different paints, no pun intended, testers, uh, as many different paints as I can to try to find something that's equal to it. That's why I'm going to tilt my camera here, so it's going to be weird. I can't. Never mind. Right over there is where all my paints are, and I've got several different brands that I've been using, and I don't know. It's just like P3, I think, is one. Formula P3, these guys. This is a great acrylic paint, but it is very thick, so you got to water it down. So this is definitely an option. They're kind of hard to find. They're kind of expensive. So that's an option. Um, my Vallejos are good. The Games Workshop, these guys are good. They're just also a little thick, and they also, if you don't mix them with something or at least thin them down and maybe even uh, clear coat them or seal them, they kind of tend to rub sometimes. It just depends on the color, like rub off. So that's an option. I'm always open to suggestions if you guys know any. Um, are they not making testers anymore? Yeah, Krylon, I believe. Is that what I said earlier? No, Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum bought them and then shut it down. How dumb is that? Very strange. Um, because I mean, forget about custom figures for model makers. You know, model makers used testers. That's why they're called testers, model masters. Um, and model makers are by far a larger community than custom action figures. So why would you take a product out of your biggest audience's hands? I don't know, man. I'm torn on this gray black thing. I think I might just go all gray with it, and then maybe black accents or a wash, like somebody was saying. Or all right, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna do you guys the dry brushing that you guys suggested. Um, what is a tester? I don't know what a tester is, but Testers Model Masters acrylics are excellent paints. That's what I'm using right now, the gray. So I'm gonna do this thing all gray, and then I'm gonna dry brush. Where is it? I'm gonna dry brush. Is this it? This is my silver. I dry brush a touch of silver over it. So that it gives it just a metallic look. I think that's something Hasbro might do, right? Brand name, definitely. I use Tamiya. I don't like Testors bottles if they fry shut, dry shut. Dude, seriously, I have used so many, so many of my testers um, bottles sealed shut, and it's so frustrating because, like you just said, they're nearly impossible sometimes to get back open. I have a little tool, again, a custom tool. It's right here. It's one of my favorite tools of all time. This is the like the clip from a pocket knife, I think, and I use it. Let me set this down. I use it like this, right, to pry open the sides of specifically only for testers bottles. And then once I pry them open, sometimes you have to hit it, sometimes you can get it open. But this thing's awesome. Just a little knife clip. Tamiya. Sometimes I use Rit dye more as base color, and then hand paint. Krylon matte. Yeah, I could see using the Rit dye as a base. Tamiya, I've had a bad experience with Tamiya. Like they get, I don't know if you get this, but for me, they seem to dry tacky, sticky to the touch, and they tend to like peel if you don't let them cure completely before you add another layer or or some sealer over it or something. I don't know. I just haven't had a good experience. I know they're immensely popular, and I'm probably the only one that doesn't like them. But maybe I'll give them another try. Maybe I was doing something wrong. Um, but I definitely have to find something because I am running out of testers. So if you guys find it like a internet outlet or on an online outlet that has testers, model masters, acrylics, let me know. All right, it's gray. Let's get down here. I realize like you guys will probably want like more detail on the gun, but I promise you'll see my point once it's done. Um, it'll make more sense as far as just fitting the aesthetic of the toy line, the Marvel Legends retro toy line. So I got my grabby do grab thing, my oats grabber, right? And I'm gonna pop this into the silicone mold that I'm using over here. I'll show you guys. You probably, I guess a lot of you missed this. This is my silicone mold from my resin figure Sigor that I made years ago. Sigor. My camera doesn't want to focus tonight. Anyway, there he is. So that's a resin figure I made. And then this is his old mold, and I use it for like this for help for things that need to dry. Just pop it in there, and then I just let it sit over here out of the way. How are we doing in the chat? Let's see. I found testers at Hobby Lobby. Really? See, I don't have a Hobby Lobby again. I live in the city, right? And like, I want to make sure I don't miss your comments, guys. Hold on one second. There's no Hobby Lobby. I got a Michaels. They don't carry. They carry testers, enamels. Never use enamels. Those are bogus. At least on here. I've literally split the glass of a tester's bottle in half by putting it in a vise and using pliers. The glass snapped before the lid released. Also keep a knife on my desk. Yeah, you got to be careful, man. Wash. Definitely, we might do that. I have found testers. Hobby. Eric DeChamp. Wash. It's important to be clean. Do they do dry tacky? Yeah. You have to wait way longer between coats of paint. Okay. I literally just buy them because of the better bottles. You can buy bottles at like, um, Michaels or Hobby Lobby and just transfer your paints over. But I'm glad to hear that somebody else is having weirdness with that. I said black, but I'm liking the gray. You were right. It shows more detail. Yeah, that was the point that I was trying to make. And I think once it'll be dry in a minute, I'll bust it out and we'll look at it again. But I think that's the way to go. Shelly, I agree with you. Hang solo, I'm not very good with it. Suspected learning curve. Has testers gone out of business? Rust-Oleum bought them and shut them down. Those nasty Rust-Oleum people. All right, I'm gonna bust out I want to get going back to color blocking that I was talking about. So I'm gonna use my leather, which is my favorite brown, and I'm gonna do the center of his. Actually, I should probably do the metallics first. And for the metallics, I was going to use brass, but should I do that over black? Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's weird, right? It's a super popular product, and they just shut down production on it. Makes no sense. All right. Make sure you guys with metallics, you got to shake them up, and you want to make sure that you stir them up as well, because chunks get down in them, regardless of the brand. All right. So, I need a drink. Where's my bottle of water? Where is that? I have to drink coffee. Who's this? You guys know Craftsman? My uncle? Uncle Craftsman? Discombobulate. Go check out his channel if you don't know him. I'm sure you guys do. It's one of the best YouTube channels out there, and just an amazing person. Let's see. Is this an original design on Hulk, or is it some kind of mashup? I'm not getting. Big paint, screwing with the little guy. Yeah, I got the testers on the discount aisle. Yes, I found you through Craftsman. Chuckles shirt, awesome. What was the question? Oh, original. So this is there were two Red Hulks. One, the original Red Hulk in the comic books. The original Red Hulk was General Thunderbolt Ross. The second Red Hulk was Colonel, I believe, Maverick, who had sunglasses and a black mustache, big mustache like that. So if I had done just a Red Hulk, it would have just been this guy painted red. And I was like, as cool as that is, and I like simplicity, I'll save that for another day. I'll probably end up painting this guy. I don't know, maybe. Because Thunderbolt Ross is my favorite Red Hulk. But the Maverick Red Hulk, as you can tell, is way more dynamic. There's a lot more to his design. He has a gun. He's got the bandolier, the sunglasses. He's got the raised areas, which I really like. I sculpted those on the shorts. So I just wanted something that was going to be more unique, because I guarantee you Hasbro is going to make a Red Hulk. And when they do, it'll be similar to this, very simple design and just red. And okay, cool, whatever. But I'd be willing to bet they won't do this. And like I said earlier, this one, if you guys missed it, this Red Hulk and this Unworthy, or whatever he's called, Silver Surfer that I made. What's it? Unworthy from the Thanos Wins arc. Both of these are going to be auctioned off on eBay when they're done for charity. One of my friend's dogs has cancer, and I'm going to donate all of the money from these to her and the dog, Basil Bop. If you want to see more about that, Basil, check out the link the post in my Instagram. I'm going to put a link there. But if you're on Instagram, the account is just Basil Bop. Basil Bebop. Basil Bebop. Basil Bebop. Let's see. Craftsman. I think I found your channel through Craftsman about a year and a bit ago. That's awesome. I think I found this channel through Craftsman also. He casts some cool toys. Obsidian Silver Surfer looks rad. Is that a pun? Because his name's Norn Rad? I don't know. That's awesome. Either way. All right. I'm going to take some of this brass and put it on the top brass, so to speak. So when you're painting metallics, there's so many ways to do it. I think most people leave the base, use a black base, right? Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. With this guy I am, because the metallics will show a little bit better on a black base, but if you're not patient and go back and get the coverage you need, it'll be too dark and you won't get the look you want. So sometimes if I'm using brass like this, I'll do a brown undercoat. Sometimes if I'm using silver, I'll use a gray undercoat. Sorry, I'm drifting off out of the screen again. How are we doing over here? Cool toys. Yeah, Craftsman does, man, he does all kinds. When I first found Craftsman, I'll tell you you guys want to hear my Craftsman story? I'll tell it anyway. When I first found Craftsman, I don't know how I found him, honestly. He was doing more crafty videos, right? He hadn't gotten into resin casting. He hadn't gotten into toys so much, even though we're about the same age, I think. Definitely grew up in the 80s and love 80s toys. He wasn't really doing that. he was doing like wood carvings and like cement stuff and whatever. And uh, then he started doing toys. I reached out to him and I bought a, I bought a free range chicken, if you remember that. That was one of his very first toys that he made. And, or I guess he sold out and I reached out and was like, hey, is there any chance I could get one? He sent me one, which was so nice of him. I'll show you guys something really cool in a minute that he sent me. And then we just became friends. We started talking, and then I sent him some Glyos. He had never seen Glyos before, and it blew his mind, just like it blew my mind when I first found Glyos. And he got hooked. It's so easy to get hooked on Glyos and like fall into that rabbit hole. And he made a video on the Glyos stuff and featured me in it, which was fun. And going back to high school, when instead of cheesy, something being cheesy, we used to say it was crusty. So sometimes I'll say that, and you guys, just so you know what I mean. So he made this video and featured me in the Glyos, and it was super crusty, like big time. How's that look? It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna put brown in the middle for the bandolier. Um, but yeah, so we just became friends through there. Let's see where we at. Craftsman was good. He cast some cool toy. Obsidian. You guys give a thumbs up. Thank you, man. Craftsman is awesome. He made an awesome miniature. So miniature TV. Oh yeah, yeah, totally. All right, so I'm gonna let that metallic dry before I put another coat on it, and I'll show you guys while I'm taking that break. Let me show you this. It's really cool. I gotta stand up to do it, to grab it. Let me show you real quick. So I was talking about the free range chicken earlier. If you guys go back and check out his stuff, if you know what that is, that was the Craftsman's very first resin figure. And my free range chicken is way across the room, so I can't grab it right now. But I can grab this. Let me move him. This is the very first original mold for the free range chicken. You can see it's upside down, but you can see the free range chicken in there. And Craftsman sent this to me. I love it. It doesn't work. It's broken, like I was talking about earlier with broken molds. And when a mold breaks, you can't use it anymore, but you also don't want to waste this giant hunk of silicone. So he had it sitting around. He sent it to me as a souvenir. How awesome is that? That's super cool. Yeah, right? It is awesome. Thanks a lot. That's how I found out about Glyos. That put rabbit hole in my wallet. Seriously, right? Wow. Um, so yeah, he sent that to me as a gift. What's this one? I forget what this one is. He sent me another one. Oh, this is the I think this is the backpack. Yeah. That's the backpack, the jetpack for the free range chicken right there. Smaller one. So there's these two. And this is some like weird, I don't know what silicone this is, what brand. Anyway, so that's pretty awesome, right? He's a good friend. He's a very good friend. Tell you how awesome Craftsman is. I mean, that's cool. But when the pandemic started, I had to go. Didn't have to. I wanted to, but my dad got sick, and he's in North Carolina, and I my brother and I drove my mom down there because they were separated, and he was sick, and we went to go take care of him. And since it was the beginning of the pandemic, I don't know if you guys remember, but like everything was sold out: toilet paper, food, everything. People didn't know what was going to happen. Um, but the biggest and probably most important thing was masks. They were sold out everywhere, and people were like price gouging them and stuff. Craftsman sent my parents like a big like a box of what were they, N92 or whatever the really good masks were. Sent them to my parents who are senior citizens. That's amazing, you know, absolutely amazing. So let's see, Appalachian Man. Yeah, Where are we at? You think that's dry enough? I tell you what, let's go back to the gun while it's drying a little bit more. See where we're at. Yeah. This guy's ready. So what do you think? We were talking about N95, yeah. Thank you, Hang. All right, so there's the gun. I need to paint the handle, but I'm thinking that gray works, right? Because you can see the shadows of the raised bits. Just kind of makes sense. I don't know. So I'm gonna put another coat of gray on this, and then we'll come back to the metallics um, of the do guy. How's my another thing about acetone is as you're working, it evaporates because it's alcohol based. Um, and again, I use my acetone, this stuff, right? A few bucks, absolutely worth it. I use it to thin paints and to clean my brushes because as you use a brush, paint gathers in this where the metal meets the hairs, and as you can see, like it starts to form, it starts to block up the hairs. So you want to, especially when you're all done, I rinse it out in acetone and some water. You want to take care of your brushes. I have a question for you guys. For everybody who's left in here, how did you see that I was doing this live stream? I'm curious. Did you see it? Did it pop up on YouTube as a notification? Did you see it on Instagram? Because I posted a little thing in my story on Instagram. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to alert you guys, because this was definitely last minute, spur of the moment idea that I had. I was going to paint, and I figured why not do a my first YouTube live stream, which you guys are a part of, and I appreciate that. But I'm curious how you found it. I don't know if you guys can hear my neighbor's dog. She has a little 3-pound Chihuahua that's going bananas down there. Whoa, you probably just heard my stomach growling. I'm gonna make I'm gonna make taco. It's like, what time is it? 11 o'clock almost in Chicago here. I'm gonna go for maybe, where are we at? 1:38. So I'll go for another 20 minutes. Does that sound good? That'll make a 2-hour live stream. Oh, time flies when you're doing this stuff. So um, I'm gonna make tacos though. Late night dinner. Haven't really eaten anything today. Where are we at? Let's see. Notification on YouTube says Hank Solo. Chuckle shirt. It was just in my YouTube feed. I was surprised you were streaming. Yeah, right? Shelly Stone. I was just checking my subs and saw you were live. Yeah, awesome. Man, I really appreciate you guys being here. This is going to help the channel a lot. Should I do more of these live streams like this? Like, let's say that I'm not going to be able to finish. If we go another 20 minutes, Hulk won't be 100% finished, so I'll have to do another one, maybe tomorrow night or the next night until he's done. So does it bother you that he won't be finished in one sitting? Because I never finish a figure in one sitting, but does that bother you guys? I'm curious. All right. Second coat done, and I think it's got good coverage. So I'm going to put um, my clampy do thing and put him back in the silicone mold over there. I'm going to come back to this guy and hit it with some more metallic. I have another question I want to ask you guys after you answer that. Let's see. All right. I like the black undercoat on this. I think it's the right way to go for this brass. If we hadn't let it dry like we did, then these swipes that I'm taking would wipe off. Even if it would look dry, it would still wipe off that first coat. We don't want that. It's important to be patient when you're painting because you want your paint job to be beautiful, be everything that it can be, you know? See where we at. I know some people that do YouTube on some larger channels. I ask a few questions. That's cool. Now it's unrealistic to try to finish a figure every video. Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying earlier, like you guys have seen you've probably seen my finished figures on YouTube. The videos that I post when I do when I show a finished figure. Those figures took months, or weeks at least, weeks. So just to make, that's not the video, just to make the figure. And all the time I'm making the figure, I'm videotaping. So a video, and since this is my first live stream, you're totally right. It's unrealistic to think that I'm going to finish this, but we've made some really good progress, especially with this metallic. Whose idea was that? That was somebody's idea. One of you guys. Wasn't it? Or was it mine? All right, almost done with this. Where are we at? What editor do you? So you're talking about video editor. That's a really good question because I just recently changed. I'm always broke. I don't have a lot of money, and because I do this part time, I do about 17 other things part time, none of which pay the bills. But I use all free software whenever I can. It looks pretty good, yeah. It's pretty cool. It's getting there. So I was using just the regular video tutorial, video editor, Windows video editor. Comes with the computer. My computer was old. I finally saved up some money, replaced my computer, and all of a sudden Windows created this thing called Clipchamp, which if you have a Microsoft account, I think you can get pretty much most of the features on it for free. So I've been using Clipchamp, and I got to tell you, it changed my world. It's still extremely basic and rudimentary stuff, but it has some features in it that when I did Hildegard's video on the channel, it helped so much. It made it go by so much faster than what I was doing. So really, really happy about that. Clipchamps. Check it out. I'm pretty sure it's just all free. The next thing I'm going to do, where are we at with time? 1:44. We got another 15 minutes. I'm gonna hit it. I'm pretty sure I'm done with the metallics, so I'm gonna hit it with some. I might come back for touch up, probably, definitely later on. I'm gonna hit it with some leather because again, going back to like color blocking, I haven't put any leather on that yet for the bandolier. Now here you go. This cap is stuck, so I'm gonna use my my custom tool thing and try to open it. Hopefully it'll work. You guys can see it happen here live. Who was saying that? Who was that? Was that Hang Solo? Were you talking about the glass jars? I think it was you. Hopefully this will work. All right. Holy cow, look at that. Thing is on there. Might have to bust out a different bottle. This one's almost empty anyway. It'd be nice if my tool worked that I've been talking about. I'll try this one more time. I'll give it a little smack on the table too. Cover your ears. It's going. Yeah. All right. So you see that? You see, look how it's stretching? That's the dried paint that's like, you can see inside the bottle. That's why, that's not taking care of your paints. That's my fault. So Obviously my fault. What I would recommend doing for that so that that doesn't happen, I'll do this sometimes. I'll put the top back on, right? Close it up, but then like give it a bunch of good twists, and that'll grind away that dried paint. But you just got to make sure that after you use it, you know, and we're wiping the paint off here, and then it gets all wacky again. Just make sure you clean the rim of it. And after all that, there's not much left in here, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water to it. Flick, 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 flick. You flick too hard. Stir that up. All right, we don't need much for what we're doing. That's why they were shut down. I'm not very technically inclined, so I'm checking user-friendly editors. Clipchamp is very user-friendly, and like I said, it's free if you use Windows. So check it out. I'd be curious what you think. Bingo, correct. All right, let's hit this with some. So I have to be careful when I do this because the grooves are going to catch paint and make paint move to and fro, and I don't want to muddy up the metallics. So I'm just going to do I'm not going to load up a bunch of paint on my brush. And I'm also going to stay away from the metallics at this point. But when I go back in for the fine details, I'll get closer. Yeah, this is going to be cool. This brown with that brass. Holy cow, it's going to be awesome. I might, like I said, all these Marvel Legends retro figures, they only have maybe like 4 colors per figure. I don't want this guy to be too detailed because the point isn't to make him extremely comic accurate. You want to just get the idea across, and in doing so, I don't want too much detail, you know? It's not what that line is about. It's retro. That's why it's called the Marvel Legends retro line, because it's in the 80s. They cut as many corners as they could in toy design, which wasn't a bad thing, and 80s kids had good imaginations, and we would just fill in the gaps, so to speak. I don't know if you guys can see that, but when I swipe across, it bleeds into the crevice and creases, and I don't want that to bleed into and muddy up the metallics. But I want to make sure that during this color blocking session that I do get everything that I want to have brown, to get brown on it. Because then when we come back, it'll have cured, and I can safely add more color to it without worrying about paint rub. I use an ice pick to paint eyes on printed heads. An ice pick, I've never tried that. Makes sense. You don't find that it doesn't damage the plastic or the resin if you poke at it too much, you know? God, I can hear my neighbor's chihuahua just like going bananas down there. Her name is Breakfast. It's a little 3-pound chihuahua named Breakfast. I love dogs. And she actually helped me through a really hard time when I lost Mooj. My neighbor let me borrow Breakfast and hang out with her. That was before I got my other guy, my little boy, Igum. But if you watch my videos at the end, Mooj always pops up. YouTube doesn't let you put dogs in your videos because they're too cute. Kids like watching dogs. That can like hurt your channel. Stupid. You should be able to put your dog in your video. All right. This brown is done. All right, it's a good layer. Where are we at? 151. I just want to hit one more swipe. There's one little area that I'm not happy with. There we go. Right? You like it? Does that look good? That's pretty cool. See, now if Hasbro made this guy, that bandolier would, I'm willing to bet that that bandolier would be 100% brown or a metallic. It would be one color. It wouldn't be two colors. Because again, retro simplicity, stuff like that. All right. I think I'm gonna put this guy down. He needs to cure. Let's look at our gun. One last look at our gun. Looks good. Oh, you guys still there? You guys, I hope you're still there. All right. I'm gonna throw one little bit of gray on the handle. I feel like the internet almost cut out there for a second for some reason. All right, we'll let that cure. That'll be good next time we come back to it. So, I think that works for the gun. I might actually, was it Hang Solo? I think you said wash. Somebody said wash. Somebody in the comments said wash. I think in this case, a wash might actually work. And how I would do a wash, it wouldn't be black. It would be like a darker gray, just to add a little bit of shadow and bring out those recesses and raised details. And then I'll hit it with my silver dry brush in the next time we sit down and do this. Okay. So I'm gonna put that there. Why don't we close out with, let's see, the chat. Let's see, you got any last questions? Let's do that. Yes, it could damage the eyes. My hand shakes too much. Fine brushes. Yeah, I totally agree. Mine does too. So I use ice pick. Sounds ridiculous, but it works. Hey, if it works, it works. Looking good. Thank you. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you, Hang Solo. Looks like Final Faction toy weapon. Yeah, it does. Excuse me, Chuckle shirt. Yeah, the gun looks like it's from the 80s. Awesome. That's what we were going for. And it is. It's a G.I. Joe gun from Iceberg in the canoe. This like sits on the front of the canoe. So just imagine, it's still wet, but imagine you can see it next to him. That's good. It's a good contrast, right? The red of the figure with the gray of the gun. That's going to be awesome in his hand. Man, how cool is that? Let's do that. Look at that. You guys got any last questions for me before we sign off? I really, really appreciate you all being here. It was a blast. I think the next live stream will be, maybe I'll try to do one tomorrow. I'm at my brother's comic book store all day, helping him out. Oh yeah, Comics in Skokie, Illinois. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. So I'm looking at like Wednesday maybe for another live stream or something. You guys can let me know after we sign off. You can let me know in the comments if you got any more thoughts. But Hang Solo later. Good to see you. Who else is still in there? Chuckles, Shelly. Are you guys all in there still? Thanks for being here, you guys. I will talk to you later. Get some oats. Check out the other videos. Check out the Patreon. And I will talk to you guys very soon. I really, really appreciate y'all being here. It was a blast. 2 hours. Man, thank you guys. What?